Alright, dickheads, welcome back to Practicing Challenge 52. Athoro is my god, right? Gluck, 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 Athoro. Who am I? I'm Viggy. I really need to improve my intros. The glucking was not as effective as it could have been. But yeah, who am I? I'm Viggy. I've been drawing for 9 years. What the fuck, 9 years? 3 years and 9 months, right? This channel is a repository of my practice to prove that anybody, especially you, can learn to draw. And with that being said, get your pen, get your paper, and draw along with me, right? Let's control and put in the only thing let's put in, what the fuck, what do I usually say? Let's focus on the one thing that we can only ever control, the effort. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, effort, effort, effort. It's all about the goddamn effort, right? I know I'm sounding very tired of it, but I'm not. I genuinely mean it. I'm just very tired right now because it is 12:30 p.m., right, past midnight, and I don't feel like drawing yet. If I can do it, you can do it, right? If I am here, you can also be here. So let's draw, dude. I was like, I'm gonna get a good intro this time. I'm not gonna fuck it up, and then I just stuttered. See, I stuttered my way through it, right? But yeah, get your pen, get your paper, draw along, draw the fuck along. Because if I can not feel like drawing and I'm here, then you can not feel like drawing and still be here. And then within 10 minutes of drawing, you'd be like, oh shit, it was just inertia, which is what it always is, right? But what are we doing? We're doing first week of Challenge 52, and I am practicing multiple things, right? Because how do you make boxes? It's just boxes the first week, right? If you don't know what Challenge 52 is, click on the link in the description. It'll take you to the Discord. You can look at everything it is, but it's 52 weeks, 52 exercises, right? Thor is actually in the midst of revamping it because, and I've given him some feedback on that, which is basically the main feedback that I've given. And I know, like last Challenge 52 episode session that I said I'd draw like the seen through version. I didn't have time. I literally, yeah, I just didn't do it. I was like, I'll do it after, and I just didn't do it. There's no explanation there. And maybe I'll do it now, maybe I won't. I probably won't. Fuck this. Maybe I'll do it like after. I don't fucking know, right? But let's just do the session. But what was I saying? One of my main critiques, and by the way, okay, so let me explain what I'm doing. What I'm doing is I am practicing 3 skills, which is zooming out, right? Improving my field of vision while applying and not looking at the line while applying. So that's hand-eye coordination. Second thing is to visualize the entire box and then to apply 30% faster, 20 to 30% faster the line that I'm capable of, right? That's the second thing. So that's my motor skills as well, right? That's another aspect of my motor skills. These are all things, by the way, that are being that tax my working memory. And then the last thing is to visualize the diagonal, the entire box, all the visible and invisible planes, and then the diagonal cross sections, right? And that right there is incredibly difficult because I need to do it while applying. Right now I'm not even looking here, I'm looking here, right? Again, like I'm looking here right now, I'm looking here right now as I try to connect it, but now I'm gonna look away, and while I'm doing this, it's again trying to visualize every diagonal cross section on the visible and invisible plane while applying, right? And that's extremely difficult. And why am I doing this? Because this is to automate the geometry, the spatially reasoned geometry that I'm already cognizant of, right? Like this is to automate my basic geometric math, and this is basic for me, right? Your basic might be just the box. Your basic might just be a plane, right? And I say just because, and I say just very lightly. Like I know these things are extremely difficult, but right now that's exactly what I'm doing. Is like while I'm looking at this, I'm constantly thinking, seeing through the box, seeing it over here, this diagonal, this diagonal, this diagonal, right? But I'm specifically not giving myself the opportunity to actually calculate it. Because I'm forcing myself to calculate it while applying, which is an extremely difficult skill, right? And you can see my lines suffered, but already my lines have gotten a lot better from just the last time, right? Like if you see the variances in thick to thin that are occurring all over these lines, right? I think it's already like a solid 5% improvement, which is a huge improvement, like anywhere from 2 to 5, right? And that's a huge improvement. That's a huge improvement. And then, and again, I'm also practicing proportion. That's another thing, right? Another thing that's utilizing my working memory and my parietal lobe, my prefrontal cortex, right? Is because I'm gonna try to retain these specific proportions, rotate it in my mind, and then, let's see, apply it at a larger or smaller scale, right? And that is also extremely difficult. Like that is also extremely difficult, right? And again, I'm not doing I'm making a huge mistake right now, which is I am looking at the line when I shouldn't be, right? Now I'm not, and you can tell that my line got thicker. It suffered because I wasn't looking at it, which is exactly what we want, because this is what builds motor skills and like hand-eye coordination and fine pressure sensitivity. And while I'm doing this, I am incapable of visualizing, and I'm looking here right now, so again, making a mistake, but I'm incapable of visualizing the grid. That doesn't mean I'm not trying. I am genuinely taxing the fuck out of my working memory and trying. So again, like if I can put in this effort, you can too. Does that mean you have to put an effort on what I'm putting in effort? No, that just means that you can also put in effort, right? You can also put an effort on things that are very difficult and continue to do so even when absolutely nothing is happening, right? And again, I could barely see any, I just couldn't see the diagonal cross sections. And you'll see this box is incorrect, right? Because I'm zooming out, I'm zooming out, I'm trying to connect everything, hand-eye coordination, not looking at the line itself. These two lines are diverging. These two lines are converging. These two lines, like, what else? Like this is supposedly, this is converging fast, but these two are converging less fast. This specifically, these two, this line and this line are diverging, right? So there's a lot of mistakes happening, and it is not proportionally accurate to this one, right? So beautiful mistakes, beautiful errors, right? If I instead of mistakes, let's call them errors, because error is, I say error for data logging purposes, because this is data. This is nothing more, nothing less than data which informs us of our current capabilities, right? And that is all learning is you look and you must accurately respond to the data, right, of your current capabilities. And the only accurate response that exists is dopamine, right? Because acetylcholine and norepinephrine are released, and your only response to the friction of discomfort is to lean into it, right? And when I mean your only response, I mean the only response that's actually going to benefit you, right? Not scientifically speaking, the only response that's going to benefit you is feeling good about your mistakes. Because when you don't feel good about your mistakes, what you're doing is you're signaling stressor chemicals, whatever the fuck you want to call it. You're signaling the stress to your brain. Again, while I'm talking, which is extremely difficult, while I'm talking about something completely unrelated, technically, I'm also still visualizing the fuck out of the seen through, as much of the seen through planes and the diagonal cross sections of this box while I zoom out, right? Extremely difficult. But yeah, like your only duty is to keep training yourself to literally just force a general feeling, a fucking vague feeling of like, oh yes, this feels good, right? Again, in the beginning, I literally had a fucking shit-eating grin on my face for 8 months straight, being like, error in my mind, while I was like, oh, I feel so good, right? So like, anything goes as long as you constantly keep training yourself to feel good. While you make mistakes, and that of course requires you to be attentive and to notice all the mistakes that you're making. And the more things you quantify as mistakes, i.e., the more you hold yourself to an extremely high standard, the more opportunity you will have to engage in your plasticity and feel good about the mistakes that you make. You're welcome for the science. You're welcome. But it's actually pretty funny because I was like, Mom, I went to my mom, right? I was like, I'm gonna go practice drawing. Please don't disturb me. She was like, yeah, I won't fucking disturb you. Fuck off. I'm like, good talking on me. And then what's it called? Oh, let me just. First of all, let me. I'm just trying to think. Let me. I'm just trying to think about the box again. I'm looking here, by the way, while I'm making this line. But I'm just trying to think about this. And again, that line was a mistake. The proportions, right? And again, like applying at a speed 20 to 30% faster than which I am capable of, while zooming out, while also trying to think about the diagonal cross sections, is so incredibly difficult. And I'm barely doing it, but I'm trying really hard. Like I can 100% affirm and guarantee to the best of my ability that I'm absolutely trying to do all those things. I'm not succeeding whatsoever, especially in the visualization of the cross sections, but I am trying, right? But yeah, I was like, mother, please don't bother me. She's like, fuck off and die. I'm like, good talk, right? And then I'm like, aren't you curious about what I do? She's like, what do you mean? She's like, I know I'm not gonna bother you when you do your practice. I'm like, no, not that, bro. Like, aren't you just curious about what it is I do? Like in this YouTube thing, like just recording my practice. And my mom, she's like 58. She's 30 years older than me, exactly. So I'm 28, she's 58, right? And she fucking does not know how to use technology. So she's just like, what? Like, how do you go to YouTube? Like, what do you do? And her YouTube's staring right at her. It literally says YouTube and it's the logo. And I click on it. She's like, oh, okay. Like, now what? How do I find your channel? And I'm like, you're literally subscribed to me. And I click on subscriptions. It's the first fucking video because she's subscribed to nobody. And she's like, oh, okay, cool. And then she opens it. And then she's like, what the fuck are you saying? She's like, what are you saying? She doesn't swear. I'm obviously paraphrasing my own personality onto her. But she's like, what are you saying here? Because this is last video, right? The video before this where I was just completely even stuttering through my way through the And while I'm talking, I'm trying to think about a new angle, but I was stuttering my way through the fucking the intro where I was like, oh god, I don't know what I'm saying, right? So she's like, what the hell is going on here, right? So I'm just like, I have no idea. I don't even know what the hell I was saying. And then I go back, and then it's just like, all right, fuckers, welcome back to. And then she's like, is this what you say? And then like it literally keeps going, and I'm just fucking swearing up a storm. And she's like, aren't people watching this? What are you doing? Like, aren't they gonna know? And I'm just like, nobody gives a shit. I'm like, especially not my hashtag Viggy Fammers. My Viggy Fammers? Never. They would never betray me like that, right? But she was disgusted. I even told her, I'm like, I'm gonna tell my audience you were disgusted with my channel. And she's like, of course. Is this who watches this? And she's like, aren't people gonna know who you are? Aren't people gonna know like you're Viggy, like, and all that shit? I'm like, nobody knows what I'm Viggy. I'm like, and even if they do, nobody cares. And even if they care, that's on them because I don't give a fuck what they think, right? And she's like, oh my god, also this is a horrendous box. I keep making this mistake, right? Like, look at this. I don't know why I turned into a right angle. This is literally 1 point perspective, which is wrong. This type of box doesn't exist in real life. I don't know how I keep making this mistake. It's actually hilarious how I've made this multiple times now. But still a great mistake to make. But yeah, she was just like, and then I'm like, mom, I get 10 views. Like, I get 10 to 30 views a video, right? And she's like, they're all crazy. I'm like, what are you gonna say when I get 1 million subscribers or like 1 million views? She's like, they'll still be crazy. And I'm like, I was just laughing. It was just cute. She was like, I can't believe this. This is oh, you swear so much. So disrespectful, disgusting. But yeah, that's it. That's my funny little anecdote while I was fucking taxing the shit out of my working memory, trying to visualize all this shit and draw, which is a very difficult skill. Because again, while I was drawing this, even though it was wrong, I was still trying to calculate some diagonal cross sections. But the next burst of this, after I like draw through the forms, I'm going to not slow down, but I'm going to be even more intensive. Like, I'm gonna fucking really lean into the discomfort, right? And trust me, like, a huge part of me wants to feel like shit about drawing this box, right? But I'm forcing myself right now. I'm forcing myself to feel good looking at this because that's an error. That's a huge error that needs, and this is the way I can recognize errors, and I have to make sure to not make that mistake again to the best of my ability, right? To not produce that error again. But with that being said, let's rest our brains. All right, cool. I do feel like, dude, like I definitely need to work on my box variety because look at this shit. Like this, like they all look the fucking same. And this isn't racism. This is my own output. All right, I created them. I can say that. But like they all look the fucking same, bro. Like I have no variety. Truly, I'm not meant to be a creator, right? But either way, I'm already zooming out. I'm already looking. While I'm applying this, I'm trying my absolute best to visualize and calculate the diagonal cross sections, right? Here, this one, the visible and the invisible. And again, I'm not ghosting. Ghosting is a very good, very good technique, by the way. But I am training myself to be able to go from one point to another for the purpose of this specific exercise, right? Like for this like diagonal cross section exercise. And you see, that was a huge mistake. Look how off I was. So we know in this angle, I struggle to not only calculate, but to apply effectively, right? And that's why like I constantly am just trying, and I'm zooming out. I'm not even looking at the other part. Like I look at it once, I'm training myself to look at one point to another point only in one instance, and then immediately make a judgment and follow through on that judgment. And you see, this is actually cheating. I have a really bad habit right now to cheat because even subconsciously, part of me doesn't want to miss, right? So I'm like curving that line, but this is actually where it was. So this is all normal, right? Like you will constantly try to be better than you actually are. Like in this context, like look at that. I already immediately tried curving that, but this is what's straight. Like I literally tried curving that. I don't know if you saw. Right? It's hard to tell because my camera. I mean, it's just like an iPhone camera, right? Like you're not gonna see the most nuanced details, right? But this is what I need. Like just this consistent, like just drawing it straight, looking at it, and then just drawing it straight, and committing to making this line as straight as possible despite where it lands. Right there, that was pretty close, right? And look, this is already off. I'm gonna commit to it too, so I know that it's off, right? And that line was a mistake too because it just curved. But and this is me, I'm constantly attaching dopamine to the errors, right? Again, which is just a vague good feeling. And I keep explaining the neurological processes behind this in the hopes that you understand that your fucking experience is not only not unique in terms of like the friction you feel, but the way you can game it is universal. So you are not unique, yet you're not unique, you're exactly like everybody else, right? In how you learn, like in the sense that like how your brain understands learning, right? Like in the sense that like you are not above intentional repetitions. You are not above recognizing errors and attaching dopamine to them. You are not above acetylcholine and norepinephrine being released when you are in the state of discomfort and friction, right? You are not above intentional volume. None of you are above that. How you may interpret the subject matter, of course, everybody will differ, right? When have their own nuances and their own way of internalizing the information they are attempting to understand. 100%. But none of you, and I mean none of you, are above intentional, effortful volume and the neurological processes that occur in your mind, right? And some of you might say, but I'm neurodivergent, right? Yes, you may be neurodivergent, and yet even with sheer repetition, volume, intentional effort, and attached to dopamine errors, you can still learn exactly like everybody else, right? Again, you may require a different medium to absorb it better, but volume negates basically everything. Like intentional volume negates everything. There's nobody in the world, there's no person in the world who said, I got better by not practicing. I got better by not thinking about it. I got better by actively going out of my way to not understand it. And if they do exist, please point me to them. Because I would love to not do anything, just jerk off and get better, right? That's a lie. I actually love learning. I've trained myself to love learning, right? But anyways, while I'm talking, I'm holding all these items in my working memory. Yeah, like you're not, beautiful mistake. You're not above having to hold multiple items in your working memory in order to understand something. You're not above the friction that you feel. And you're not unique and alone in that is what I want to say. Actually, this is making me sound like a dick. And perhaps I am. There's a very, very small possibility that perhaps this is coming off like I'm a complete asshole, right? Harry, who knows? We'll have to see. But an asshole nonetheless. Again, huge mistake, right? I'm clearly struggle with, I still to this day struggle with attaching one point to another point. Right? And that's good because that means everything can be worked on, right? And I'm trying to think about all the factors as much as I can while I'm applying this. Like I'm trying to think about the diagonal cross section to the best of my ability, right? Am I doing it successfully? Success is a metric that I don't use in the sense of like, did the output happen? Right? Like, did you get the thing? It's more like, did you try to get the thing and did you enjoy making the mistakes to do the thing, right? That is how I'm practicing learning. But yeah, like I know this makes me sound like an asshole because possibly I am. It's very likely. We'll have to table that question, right? That's what business people say, right? We'll have to table it. but what I'm trying to say is like you're not alone in that either, right? Go to my video. This is video of a beginner artist. You are not alone, right? You will, and see that was a mistake because I ghosted. But you, and again, like while I'm looking here, I'm calculating this diagonal, this one. I'm doing my best. When I say I'm calculating, I mean I'm doing my absolute best to visualize and calculate them, right? While applying these adjacent marks, right? These parallel marks, these opposite marks, right? I am doing my absolute best because this is what's forcing my brain. And you see like how off I am because there's so many things to hold in my mind, right? And again, this is a motor skill application. Motor skill and working memory, of course, like prefrontal cortex is also being utilized, right? But it's beautiful. Like look how fucking off I am while I'm doing this. And again, I'm trying to see this one and this one as well, right? Like the diagonal cross sections. And that will get in the way of me being able to apply correct marks, right? Correct marks to the fucking like actual one I'm applying it to, right? Like to the one that I'm actually focusing on. Because I'm trying to see everything else at the same time, right? And that is my goal, is to see everything. And look at that, like I let this diagonal here, the bottom plane, the bottom invisible plane dictate the mark for this. Incredible mistake, incredible fucking mistake. And again, when I look at this plane, I'm literally calculating and seeing invisible lines, right? Sometimes explicit, many times very vague, very subtle, very, very hard to visualize and reason, right? And even now, like same thing here, like I'm trying my darndest, I'm trying my damnedest, right? I'm trying my best to calculate and visualize these marks. See, that was a mistake because I curved that line. But calculate and visualize these marks while and like the diagonal cross sections while I'm making this specific connection right here, right? So, and see, that was a mistake because I ghosted, but that's pretty good. And again, I'm trying to calculate everything else, right? But it's all a working memory skill. It's all a working memory. And the thing is, like, that's why I specifically go out of my way to do the hardest things, right? Because you don't have to do this. Technically, you don't have to do this. But at the end of the day, I'm going to have to be able to do this at one point. So why not put the sheer volume and effort and like in the beginning and just, because dude, like no matter what level I get to, I will always, and I mean always, be pushing my brain. Like I will never, if you ever see me get complacent, it's an alien. I've been hacked. Right? Like it's just, it's not happening, you know? And if I am being complacent, that whatever's been recorded where like I'm being complacent, it's like fucking almost without a doubt I had set a precedent in that video, right, or that recording or that session, that I'm like, hey, today I'm gonna fuck around and do nothing requiring thinking, right, or I'm gonna be very intuitive. That's also a beautiful mistake, right? And again, like while I'm trying to calculate this diagonal, I'm also thinking about this one and this one, right? And again, that ghosting was a mistake because again, I'm trying to get it done in one go, right? Not that ghosting is bad. Once again, ghosting is very good, right? I'm purely focusing on building the ability right now to make the mark and calculate the mark accurately without ghosting. And you can see how much room for improvement I have. It's beautiful, man. It's fucking beautiful, right? And that's why challenge 52, just boxes, can be exponentially more difficult, because if you apply the line at 20 to 30% faster speed than you're used to, visualize the box and calculate the internal planes of the box while also calculating all visible and invisible diagonal cross sections, right? And zoom out and specifically do not look at the mark that you're making. Congratulations, you've just entered a dozen or more items in your working memory. Items are essentially things that you are holding in your attention. You're trying to juggle, you're trying to understand, you're trying to calculate, you're trying to apply, right? That's what I quantify as items. I'm sure there's like a more scientific way to quantify items, but that's what I quantify them as, right? And right now, like item, 1, 2, like diagonal, right? Another, like multiple items probably just in my working memory when it comes to just applying this line with one stroke, right? I'm more of a 10-stroke kind of guy, but you know, what are you gonna do when you're practicing? But anyways, like, and again, trying to visualize and calculate all these different diagonal cross sections while also zooming out, while also applying this mark, right, in one stroke, right? All multiple items in my working memory. Our brain can only hold 4 to 9. I'm trying to hold, most likely, at least a dozen or more, right? This is how we can make boxes a lot more difficult. Like, this is literally how we can make boxes a lot more difficult. And look at that. That was fucking repulsive in a good way. Like what I did, right? Like the mark that I made, right? All shit, but it's my shit and it's beautiful. So, and again, like my brain is fucking struggling trying to calculate and zoom out and hold all these different diagonal cross sections, right? And this discomfort, this sheer discomfort, is what I constantly chase, right? Like this discomfort and this feeling, and it is a feeling of being a complete idiot, right? Also, look at that, completely off. Like today especially, I've been completely off, but today especially, I've been pushing myself even more in trying to like do it in one stroke, right? Trying to like visualize it, trying to calculate it, trying to really hold all these things in my mind, right? And every session, I feel like a fucking moron, right? But that's the point, is like, there's a reason that I can draw like this when I'm not thinking much about perspective. Like genuinely, like maybe 30 to 40% of actual perspective is being thought of, perspective and form. The rest is just, it's still space, because I'm trying to orient things, I'm trying to figure out how they're spaced, but like it's a lot of it is composition, clearly line weight, right? Maybe some gesture, fuck if I know what gesture means, but like at least I'm trying, right? Like trying to think about like the objects themselves, like what they can be if they're unique, all that shit, right? But there's very little actual like intensive spatial reasoning occurring, like in terms of like attentive, intensive, and intentional spatial reasoning occurring, right? This is like a lot of it is intuition based on thousands and thousands of repetitions of intention that were derived from intention, right? But yeah, that's the reason why I can do that, is because I output shit like this on a constant basis, right? And outputting shit while doing your best not to output shit is learning, right? Like being shit while trying not to be shit is learning. Okay, another way to say it is trying to understand while not being able to understand, and enjoying the fact that you can't understand while still trying to understand. That and apply, of course, is learning, right? That is literally how you gain neuroplasticity, because what I just said there was an extremely basic layman's version of focus on the effort, focus on the errors, and attach dopamine to it, right? I.e., intentional effort, i.e., acetylcholinorepinephrine, i.e., errors, I.C., attached dopamine. I.C., what the fuck? I.E., attached dopamine, right? All the same shit. It's the same fucking loop, right? If your drawings look amazing and you don't feel okay, if your drawings look amazing but you still felt like, okay, how do I say this? No, okay, fine. How about this? No matter how your drawing looks, as long as you feel like you've been struggling to understand, but you know you're doing your best to understand and apply, you are in the peak zone. You are like in the peak session, right, of learning, the peak moment, the peak. I don't know how the fuck to explain this, bro. I need to articulate myself better. But you are in the proximal zone of discomfort, right? There you go. You're in the proximal zone of discomfort. You are in the beautiful the fucking milieu of neuroplasticity, right? You're releasing a milieu of neuroplasticity, right? That is what learning feels like, right? But if you're not pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone, that's the fucking, like, everybody says that basic, right? But that's what it feels like. It's like you're literally like, I'm trying to get this. I'm holding so many things. I feel like a fucking idiot because I feel like I should be able to do it. I'm trying so hard. Everything's being lost. I'm in output regression, which is I'm trying to hold all these things in my mind, but my output is so much worse. But even though I'm trying so hard, and this is like the fucking astrocytic glycogen, which is the energy reserve resource that my brain uses, is completely depleted, and I can't see anything. And then I rest my brain, and then I try again, right? Like that is literally efficient learning, right? So again, all I need is one of you fuckers, one of you cocksuckers, to actually internalize what I'm saying as an objective, effective practice towards learning. Because again, right, I can draw like this in 3 years and 9 months. That statement may be impressive to you, may not be impressive to you, but it is a result of the way I've been practicing, right? For 1 hour a day, 5 days a week on average, right? This is the outcome of 1,000 hours of effort, right? So if this seems like something you would like to achieve, not this drawing or the types of shapes I have made, but this understanding of space and applicability of line with this fucking brush pen, right? So like in terms of, and that's just me saying that to show, let you know like how, I guess like how good my fine motor skills are, quote unquote good, like how much skill I have in my fine motor skills because I'm using this fucking brush pen, right? Right, although my lines are ass, but like either way, right? If any of this seems like it has merit, draw along with me. Keep me on the background. Mute my ass. Give me your attention. With that being said, let's rest our brains. And if you're wondering, okay, cool, I'm hydrated. Now what? Great question, Vicky Hammer. Great question. But yeah, if you're wondering, okay, you say put in the effort, you say keep going, all that good shit. Wonderful, wonderful. But I don't know how to put in effort. Great. Okay, that's good. Because if you don't know how to put in effort, the only way you're gonna learn how to put in effort, and stop me if this shocks you, is by doing it 100 times, 200 times, 500 times, because effort is a fucking skill as well. And you are capable of that, can't speak. And you are capable of that, right? So first I need to think of a fucking unique, quote unquote unique fucking box. It's 3 planes, or like three axes, which still is a lot to work with. And you're capable of that, right? So you will only get better at putting in effort as you continue to put in effort, right? Like there's literally nothing else that I can tell you. Is like you will learn how to consistently be better at, and again, I'm zooming out, I'm trying to think about the diagonal cross sections as much as I can, but you will consistently learn how to put in effort by constantly trying to put in effort. And then you will learn what type of effort you're capable of, right? And how you can continue. And by the way, like I'm struggling to even fucking explain this because of all the shit I'm trying to think about, right? And how you can constantly evaluate your effort, and improve it, right? So what do I mean by that? In the beginning, right? I'll use myself as an example. So this will ground it. And by the way, everything I'm saying is recorded, is documented, right? The first 2 years may not be documented in terms of my practice, but they're documented in terms of I went through every fucking page. Go to my year 1 to 2 playlist. Watch every video of mine. But what's it called? God damn it. I can't think right now. Give me a sec. See, that's not connecting, is it? See? Completely off, right? So that's good. So now I have to like hold these proportions. But I'll give you an example. This is actually a great example. Line, right? I started with line. So in the beginning, the effort I was only able to put in was about 15 seconds of focus. 15 seconds of just grinding my brain, I guess you could say. But I don't like the word grind. I actually don't mind the word grind, but I don't like using the word grind only because everybody's a fucking pussy and it's been bastardized as a word to be like, oh yeah, grind. Everybody's a fucking, we're all so hard ass here, we're grinding. And it just makes people feel, it makes pussies, of course, feel uncomfortable, but you are probably a pussy. So, just like I was, right, when I started. So instead of using grind, we'll use the more appropriate word, which is just, again, effort, which is really all grind is, which is just constant effort. But either way, and by the way, while I'm talking, I'm trying to like, I was visualizing all this, diagonal cross sections, but now I'm trying to rotate it in my mind, holding the proportions, and I'm trying to think about, what's it called? Yeah, there you go. Because I'm going to start drawing them behind other boxes, right? And I'm definitely going to increase the scale, right? And I am trying to zoom out, I'm trying to hold this box in my mind as much as I can, right? While zooming out, bless me. I don't know if anybody heard that burp. It was actually in my head. Like, as in, like, it was in my mouth and I heard it in my head. But either way, right? And I'm looking at this a little bit just to get the proportions down, right? But in the beginning, when I was just drawing lines and just basically started drawing boxes, right? I was incapable of putting in the effort that I am putting in right now, right? And that is normal because the effort I'm putting in right now, and I mean this in terms of like the many factors, like the sheer discomfort that I'm feeling right now it may have been similar, but I was not comfortable with that discomfort. Therefore, the effort I put back then was much less often, was in smaller, see, this is completely off, was in smaller spurts, or I have to fix this, was in smaller spurts. And I'm still trying to hold in all the diagonal cross sections to the best of my ability, but this is a huge box if I can do that with, right? Was in smaller spurts and fatigued me much, much faster. That does not mean I did not put in a shit ton of effort, but that simply means my threshold for effort and my tolerance for effort was lower. And I'm looking at this line right now because I'm incapable of zooming out, right? But now I'm zoomed out again. So again, trying to think about the diagonal cross sections and I'm feeling like a warm pressure in my head. Why? Because I'm now used to this feeling. I now equate this heavy cognitive tax, which I can feel as a physical sensation, which is this pressure in the top of my fucking head and on my forehead, as the effort that I'm putting in to spatially reason, right? But back then, I felt that same pressure. I simply could not endure it as much. So endurance is actually the point I'm trying to make. And I was actually trying to find the fucking point I was making while I was making it, right? So excuse me, but this is okay, but it's not the same, which is good. Again, beautiful mistake, right? But let's see. Let's try to make it a little bit bigger. Okay, let's do something like this. Not bigger, actually. Let's make it the same size, but no, not this shit again. There you go. Fuck, almost fucking made this mistake again. But I didn't, because it's slightly obtuse, which is all that matters, right? It's slightly obtuse. But the point I'm trying to make is like your endurance for effort will improve as your output for effort continues, right? And right now, like my ability to zoom out and see all the diagonal cross sections is fucking ass because I'm incapable of visualizing this box behind another box while trying to see every single invisible and visible plane and spatially reason the diagonal cross section properly, right? Accurately, geometrically, accurately, whatever you want to say, right? But my endurance for this feeling has improved exponentially, right? So I hope that makes sense. Maybe it fucking doesn't, right? I sometimes I say these things well, and then I completely forget how I said it, and then I'm stuck like this because I'm just like, oh wait, like how do you explain this? Again, teaching is a very difficult skill. Teaching is Jesus Christ. Look at this line, bro. Look at that line. Look how many times I went over that because I couldn't even hold it properly. Because I couldn't even I just couldn't do it. I just could not do it. It was an error. There were multiple data points of errors being logged there, right? But yeah, the point I'm trying to make is endurance, right? And if you're wondering how do I get better at putting in effort, how do I put in effort, lean into the friction as much as possible, hold in as many items in your working memory as you can before enduring the application, right? So you're trying to visualize, let's just again start with line. You're trying to visualize one point to another point and the line that goes through it, right? And your line will not be that big. Your line will be like from here to here maybe, right? Most people train from like these little points and then they get bigger and bigger and bigger, right? Emphasis on the igger. Funny joke, I say it all the time. Anyways, right? And you'll be thinking about line control, pressure sensitivity, right? Pressure consistency, stability of the hand. That's just 4 items right there in terms of just you're holding a pen and you try to apply a line. Then there's think about one point, think about another point, try to visualize a line, ghost it. And now think about all those factors, right? Which is the visualization, calculation, and proportion and reasoning, the space. There's still space between the spatial reasoning of one line from another line while also holding the many items that you have to do while applying that line. That is a fuck ton of effort. That is a shit ton of effort. And that is effort I didn't even know that was required when I first started drawing. All documented, again, right? Like I was going through extreme, and again, I started with pen only, not this pen, but a fine liner. And then I switched to this 8 months in, right? But that is a fuck ton of effort, right? So you will understand exactly how much effort it takes when you start, and then you will continue to persist, endure, and apply that effort and get better at applying that effort. And as you continue over hundreds of repetitions to make the prior effort intuitive and the skills learned intuitive, you will find more dozens of things to put effort towards. And that is how you get to the point to be a god like me. But anyways, rest your brain, right? And then I'll do the other 2 boxes. Hope that helped. I hope that helped. All right, cool. Wonderful. And again, not everything I say has to resonate. It must resonate. Not everything I say will resonate, but that doesn't mean it's black and white, right? Take parts of my shit. Okay, if everything sounded great, great. If nothing sounded great, fine. But if you're like, some things work, some things doesn't, you don't need to be like, but wait, I have to think about like what parts I really didn't like. And no, just bro, like if you liked what I said, take the parts that you liked. If you didn't like what I said, be like that's fine. I don't need to think about that or understand that or relate to it. I'm sure I'll find somebody else who I can resonate with or come to my own conclusion. Like I feel as if, especially in this day and age, because we live in a fucking world full of internet advice and this, and fucking 5 simple tricks, make sure you can be a master, right? Like none of that fucking exists, dude. I love Mark Brunet, but his shit is so clickbait. His latest video was like, go from this to this in I think like 12 weeks, and it was like a fucking beginner ass drawing, like fucking 0 fundamentals to his art. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Why are you selling people this shit? Bro, like I love that guy because he talks about the science of learning and he talks about neuroplasticity and all that shit. And then he pulls this and I'm just like, why, Mark? Why? Think, Mark, think! For the youngins out there, that's an Invincible reference, right? It's from my time. I'm just assuming that everybody watching this is from like the fucking like 2080s or some shit. Because, the channel won't be big until it is, right? And until then, and then after that, it's too late. So, because I'll be dead. So, let's just keep going. Let's see, I'm really trying to think about the diagonal cross sections. As you can see, these lines are suffering drastically, right? Now I'm trying to think about how I can make this proportionally accurate, and I'm not looking at the line. I'm getting a lot better at not looking at the line while making the mark, to be honest. And again, that was a mistake because I ghosted. But I'm not getting better at is holding all the diagonal cross. I'm trying that right now. I'm trying to hold all the diagonal cross sections while making the mark. And you'll see how the line suffers the second I actually add more items to my working memory. You see how the line just absolutely suffers, right? And that is normal. That is completely normal. That's actually pretty decent. I feel as my proportions, that's definitely ass, but I feel as my proportions, actually no, this is pretty ass too. It should have been more stout, less width. I don't think stout is the right word, but there should have been less width. right? Compared to this. Actually, all of these are ass. Never mind, what am I saying? My proportions have been shit. My proportions, such a good error. Continue to be shit, right? All right, and that's what I want, to be honest. I want to be free. I want to be shit, right? Because if I'm not shit, then I'm just not learning. I don't know, like that's just what I've internalized, right? And I'm not saying that literally if I'm not fucking constantly ass and like killing myself that I'm not learning, but I've just trained myself to just only ever focus on trying to get better and enjoy that, because I know some people will project their own fucking like qualms about consistent desire for improvement onto me, right? I think you're a fucking idiot if you're doing that, by the way, because I think you're an idiot and I think you're capable of enjoying learning. So twofold, right? You're a fucking moron for thinking that I should enjoy learning, and you're capable of enjoying learning. Join me, become a Viggy fammer, right? But and I'm only saying that like people may possibly project, not that anybody gives a fuck about me with my fucking like my 10 subscribers, right? But I actually have 1,230. I refresh every day, and thanks to Tyrion, it's been going up quite a bit. Thank you, Tyrion, once again. Broken draw, God bless your soul. Gluck, 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 right? But, and I could barely like hold the diagonal cross sections while I was doing that. But I'm only saying this because I've seen this a lot in the art community, right? Someone enjoys something. Somebody enjoys learning. Somebody enjoys the fundamentals. Somebody else who has always had trouble, perhaps, always, sometimes, whatever. Somebody else has trouble, right? Believing that somebody could actually enjoy something that's difficult because they have conflated something that is difficult with something that is not enjoyable, rather than something that is difficult to something that is stimulating and something that they're capable of, right? So then they say, oh, well, I could never learn like that, or that sounds like hell to me, or that just sounds too difficult. That sounds so boring. It's not fucking boring. It's extremely difficult, and you're just saying that it's boring because you want to shield your ego because it looks simple, and it is a simple concept. It is not an easy concept to apply because it requires thousands of repetitions, but it is simple in its foundations, right? The box, we have a horizon line, we have 2 points, we have a line here, line here, line here. Okay, took you about 4 hours to understand that? Great, it's pretty simple now, right? Now take 500 hours to actually be able to do it with any fucking modicum, fucking iota, I don't know, of skill, right? And that is the disparity which fucks everybody, right? In the ass, but not me though. I wore protection, and I had lube, right? And I had a chastity belt in my butthole. Right? Don't ask how I got that. Amazon prices were very, very high, right? Shipping rates, not in this day and age. I had to go to Temu for that. But this nonsensical joke aside, and again, like I'm constantly thinking about all the diagonal cross sections that are available and all that shit. And again, I constantly feel like an idiot because I can barely think about any of these things, right, while applying the line. But I'm doing my absolute best, which is all that matters. So again, me creating fucking fake conversations in my head aside, because I'm just living in my basement. I'm living in my parents' basement, right? I'm just a 28-year-old living in my parents' basement, right? So that should give a lot of credence to what I'm about to say. But let's see. Let me try to think while I draw. Let me try to think about something else while I'm thinking about drawing. God damn it, so fucking difficult, right? All a skill, right? But anyways, I know some, because I just said like, oh, I feel weird if I'm not like practicing, if I'm not like in discomfort. Yes, the answer to that is yes, right? The answer to that is yes, and you can do it too, right? And it's actually extremely enjoyable to be in constant friction, right? To be in pursuit of skills that you're incapable of doing. You can train yourself to enjoy that, but again, how, right? Now, stop me if you've heard this before, but there's a focus, there's a tension, and there's errors, and there's this beautiful thing called dopamine, and you attach to it, right? Don't worry, I was getting tired of the voice too. I was like, this is cringe, and I know I have not shied away from cringe, but everybody has a limit, man, and my limit is speaking and then realizing I'm speaking, right? So this box is fucking so off. It's hilarious. Right? This box is so fucking off. Like, what is this? Like, what is this, bro? Like, what did I even do here? I made this super long, right? Made it converge, made it super long, and then I made this converge even more, and I made this short, right? And then I think, oh, I see the issue now. This line and this line are diverging, and let's try to think. This line are diverging. Oh, and I curved this at the bottom here. You see, I curved it. It's going inwards like so, rather than going completely straight. Because if it was going completely straight, it would have gone right there. And then, yes, this would have been long enough. And then we would have had this accurately right around there. And then this would have been perfectly straight like so, right? Even though I didn't make that perfectly straight. But either way, we fixed the box, and we're just gonna go with the new fixed box now, right? I guess because I fucking went out of my way. And that one thing I learned about learning, funny enough, is that fixing your mistake right after you make it is apparently also really beneficial. Like this line, I'm gonna fuck up drastically, but I'm gonna commit. Oof, see how off that was, because that means it should be. I clearly have an issue with underreaching, right? Underreaching. So I need to, and again, I'm looking here, and then I'm just immediately making the mark. Whether it is accurate or not, that one's actually pretty fucking good. God damn, I'm a god, bro. But whether it's accurate or not, that's definitely not accurate. Look where that's going, bro. It's like right there. Yeah, that's beautiful disparity. Beautiful disparity, right? I still think I fucked some things up here. I still didn't fix the box, evidently, because this bottom is diverging. But that's because the top plane is diverging. So it's still like, it's not gonna be completely fixed. And again, because I fucking converged this way too fast. Like, look at this. This is fine. This is fine. This is converging way too fast, right? So that's actually much more accurate. So again, this should have been something like that. But either way, like, I'm not going to beat myself up over it. I'm just gonna keep going. I was gonna make some stupid joke like I'm just gonna kill myself, but I don't know if that is something that YouTube allows, right? Having to gunna these days, I don't know if gunnaing is is allowed. That was such a shit joke. How many ways can he make himself cringe? The answer is infinite, right? For he is himself, and only he knows how far he can go. But anyways, Jesus Christ, I'm thinking about all the fucking diagonal cross sections. I need to explain what I'm thinking, obviously. I don't think anybody's here for my retarded commentary, but yeah, I'm trying to fucking really hold this one and this one in line as well while I do it. And again, like, I constantly feel like an idiot, right? Consistently feel like I don't know anything. And that's good. Like, that's, again, like, this is what I'm trying to say, is like, I love, and I genuinely love the feeling of being incorrect, especially in art, right? And I really dragged that word out there because my brain was so preoccupied with making this line, especially, right? But I genuinely love it because all it does is show me is it the delta? Is that what people call it? The delta between this and this, right? All it does is show me the delta between where I can be and where I'm currently at, and all the effort that it takes to get there. Oh, actually, I already did this, didn't I? Oh, I just forgot to do that line. Yeah, but I'm gonna rest my brain. I encourage you to do so as well. And as always, fuck. Why am I doing my outro? I don't know why I said as always. I actually had no idea what I was gonna say there. Just fucking rest your brain, bro. Take care of yourself. and what's the fucking woman version of bro, right? Because I think I have at least like two female audience members who watch my content. I'm like, that's very nice lines. Yes. Anyways, or I guess I should do more of female voice. Like, yes, very nice lines. Yes. Anyways, but is it bro, and then bro. There you go. Gender neutrality. Neutrality. Good shit. But anyways, rest your brain. Clearly I need to fucking rest my brain. I'm so fucking fatigued. My jokes are even shit than usual. Oh my god. Alright, Wonder Bar. I gotta burp really badly. Hold up. Oh god, you can do this. Oh, that was nice. Anyways. And the thing is, like, even now, I don't feel like I'm trying hard enough. Like, I'll be completely honest. Like, even now, while I'm trying to literally calculate everything and the diagonal cross-section and all that shit, right? Even now, I still don't think I'm trying hard enough, right? And I think I'd like to believe that is a normal occurrence, right? Perhaps it isn't, perhaps it is. But at the very least, it's definitely a normal occurrence for me. Because the second I just applied any of these lines, I completely lost the diagonal cross section. And I mean, I completely fucking lost it. And this is the difficult part, is like trying to reason this box and see it while applying the mark, right? And again, while applying the mark, I completely lose all the diagonal cross sections. And my brain is like, I try to tax it so much, and yet I still feel like I can't do anything. And this is the feeling I constantly see. That was a fuck up. Look at that. I curved that line. That was a complete fuck up. Again, I'm literally, my body's trying to, my subconscious line work. My own fingers are trying to lie to me and to be like, no, you got it. I have to be like, shut the fuck up, bro. I know I fucked that up, right? But I think this is just the cost of entry to doing anything, right? It's like, you just are going to always feel like you're incapable. And that's why we have to frame the incapability, again, like I'm trying to visualize where the fuck this line is, but that's why I have to frame that incapability as effort and trying to figure it out, because at the end of the day, you will figure it out. It's without a fucking doubt, like literally there's no doubt that I will figure this out, right? And again, while I made this line, I tried to think about this diagonal, completely forgot about this one, right? But yeah, like at the end of the day, there's no fucking doubt that you will figure it out. It's just about enduring the reality of figuring it out, right? And the word endurance may sound very intense, right? But like, it's a good thing, but endurance sounds like an intense word. At least I'm kind of, as I'm saying this out loud, it sounds very intense, like you must endure the reality of learning. Like it's not too much, but it's just like, you just continue to continue while realizing that continuing is the only thing that will give you the ability to figure it out, and like give you the context required to make the connections, whether it's within your brain, right, or as an idea, or as a concept, or as literally as a physical manifestation in terms of your drawing, but make the connections to understand how to draw the thing you're trying to draw, right? And or like how to calculate the thing you're trying to calculate, how to figure out the problem you're trying to solve, because it's all problem solving. It's just probably one of the most fucking difficult problems to solve as an artist, as a human being trying to become an artist, is space through line, right? Like that. And again, obviously I'm extremely biased because I'm only speaking from my limited experience, right? Of 3 years and 9 months, like I'm only speaking from limited experience. But I think from what I've seen all around the internet, which maybe not reflective of real life, right? But all I've seen all over the internet and just in artist communities, and even I went to an artist, there's like in my city where I live, it's pretty awesome. They have, I didn't even know this, I mentioned this like a few months ago, but there's like this art community, right? And again, like while I'm talking, I'm trying to think about all the diagonal cross sections. Oof, that was very difficult, but I'm trying to apply while thinking about the other adjacent and opposite and parallel, all that shit, diagonal cross sections, right? But even there, I was like, oh yeah, this is my practice, and I was like, I'm pretty fucking passionate. I don't know if anybody can tell, but like I talk about art a lot, right? But I love spatial reasoning, art form, everything. I'm fucking obsessed with this shit, right? And learning and all that shit, and like working memory, and like understanding how to learn and understanding how to put effort, attaching dopamine, all that shit, right? Like, because again, I literally thought I was talentless. Like when I started art, my only thing was like, I don't care if I don't have talent. I'm gonna fucking just keep going because everybody says the fundamentals work, and I'm just gonna believe what they say and not listen to my own brain. So that's another thing. Don't fucking listen to your own brain. If you do not have the skills that you want, and somebody who has the skills that you want is saying something, then they may have merit in what they're saying. But you also have to be very, very careful, right? Can they articulate the skill that you want? Can they prove it and break it down step for step, right? Why do you think this channel exists? Because I am proving without a fucking shadow of a doubt over hundreds and thousands of repetitions, hundreds and thousands of hours, right? And decades of proof over the next 30, 40, 50, 60 years that anybody can draw, right? And there are specific things that you must do if you want to improve at a good rate, and these things that you must do can be enjoyed to a great degree and completely rewire the texture of your mind to enjoy learning difficult things, right? And yeah, I do say must. Like, I'm not gonna be like, draw what you want and it'll just come to you. I'll fucking come on you if you just draw what you want. That was a pretty good joke. I should write that down, put that on a shirt. I will come on you if you draw what you want, right? Out of context, that does sound pretty arousing. But anyways, as always, shit jokes aside, right? Like, yeah, be very careful about who you listen to, right? Again, if I don't have the skills that you want, right? If you're like, yeah, I don't give a shit, this guy's spatial reasoning is ass, I'm gonna go to that person. Cool. Just make sure they can explain it, right? I think, from what I can tell, the few people that seem to watch my channel and enjoy it, they seem to enjoy the way I articulate everything, right? Or I attempt to articulate, because I'm not like a fucking master articulator or a speaker by any means, right? But they enjoy how I consistently break down what's actually being thought of. Like right now, what's he actually thinking of? He's thinking about the seen through form. He's thinking about this line, this diagonal cross section, this one, this one, this one. He's constantly trying to calculate it. But oh, is he seeing it all the time? No, it's barely there and it's flickering, and he's basically incapable of seeing it. But he's constantly making an effort to try to see it. Like right now, he saw this, but he completely lost all the other ones, right? And now that he's realizing he lost the other one, he's trying to see this, this, and this. But now he's losing the other three, right? It's very difficult for him to hold all three diagonal cross sections of every single visible and invisible. Sorry, all diagonal cross sections of all invisible and visible planes in his mind calculated on the page, right? And also especially while applying like the actual mark itself, right, on any particular plane, right? If you're not, and I guess this is just my own fucking bias, clearly, because the reason I even started this channel, because nobody fucking explains it. Nobody explains it. How many fucking times have I vaguely heard, yeah, the fundamentals are important. Oh, this is gonna take time. It will take effort. It will take a lot of time. Be more specific. What type of effort? How much time? How many repetitions? What type of consistency? What are you thinking when you're doing it? Where is that? Where is that full transparency? It doesn't exist because nobody's cataloged them since when they were shit to when they became the GOAT. So you're welcome. Yet again, all right? This is all just a roundabout way to talk about how I'm the best, and this channel is gonna be changing lives, man. But no, seriously, like yeah, find if you're gonna listen to an artist, find who actually makes sense. It doesn't have to be me. It doesn't have to be me. I personally think I'm providing immense value to the art community. The art community just doesn't realize it yet. It's as simple as that. Like I genuinely believe I'm probably providing some of, if not the most immense value to the art community that and the art world that will ever know. I'll say it straight up. Like I genuinely think I'm providing probably some of, if not the most value to the entirety of the art world, right? Like of all time. Like, and I mean it, like of all time, right? Because what you're seeing is the journey. And look at that. That was a fuck up. My fucking hand, look at that. I literally wanted to curve it so badly. But no, that's the actual line that I made, because what you're seeing is not somebody at the finish line. You're seeing the process of becoming. Okay, you're seeing the artistic process of becoming. You're seeing what happens, like what is actually the slow and steady process of learning. What does it look like over decades? How does exponential growth actually work? What does it look like? What is he trained like, right? What happens when one individual genuinely listens to all the feedback given and actually min-maxes the fundamentals and makes it a goal of theirs to become one of the greatest artists of all time, but at the same time completely removes their ego from the process and doesn't care if they do, but they will absolutely commit themselves to the effort of trying to do it with the time that they have committed to it, while being completely aware of the fact that they're only as good as they deserve to be based on the effort and the time that they have put in, and where they have put that effort in, and how much time that they have put in, right? I'm very aware of all of that. I'm very aware of all of that. And whether you understand that you're here early on one of the greatest art channels in history of humanity or not is okay. Like, that's fine, because I know what I'm doing. I know that right now none of it matters. And I don't mean to insult you, Canada, but none of it really doesn't matter. That was a really funny joke. Anyways, right now none of it matters. And then 10 years from now, when I'm a fucking incredible artist, right, it'll be like, oh shit, part 470 of 5 different series, let me go back to part 1, and he was ass. Oh shit. And he starts the video saying, if I can do it, you can do it. Ta-da! We have now contextualized learning. We have now demystified the process of greatness. We have now demystified the art journey in of its own, and we've shown that this can be applied to any skill in existence, right? You are welcome. Please give me money. But oh shit, 58 minutes. Okay, shit, I spent a lot of time talking, but I was fucking thinking while I was doing that. Okay, I'm gonna rest my brain, and then we're gonna fucking like 100% just go all in on the mental cognitive effort, right? And just draw the 5 boxes, try to keep the proportion, try to visualize, calculate, be in as much output regression as possible, and then apply the seen through boxes, the seen through lines. This is like, I'm literally gonna, not speed run, but we're gonna try to really push the limits of trying to apply fast while thinking of all the different geometric variables, right? But yeah, like, wait, let me rest my brain. Yeah, I'll be right back. Yes. But yeah, like what I was trying to say is, yeah, if you fucking try to find people who you can resonate with. I don't fucking know. I don't know what the point of of this all was, but I ended up just jerking myself off as usual. But either way, rest your brain. All right. Anyways, I'm back. But yeah, it's okay. Right now, everything I say will be seen as cringe and what's it called delusions of grandeur. And then when I'm the goat, or when I'm a goat, right, it will be visionary and eccentric, right? Wow, he really knew what he was talking about. Right now, it's like, what the fuck is this guy on about, bro? Just shut the fuck up and do your drawings. Nobody cares about you, right? So it's all in context, you know? It won't matter until it does. And the same thing with you. You won't matter, right? Your skills won't matter until it does. But how do you make it matter? By making it matter to yourself, by really taking yourself seriously, by taking the skills that you're doing your absolute best and you're trying. Because I see many people, again, like the Broken Draw school community that he's creating, right? I see so many people trying, and I'm very, very happy for all of them. I'm genuinely very happy for all of them. Like, I think it's incredible, the community that Tyrion has built, because they're all posting consistently and everybody's trying so hard, and it's like, fuck yeah, right? Like, I see the trying and I respect it a lot. Like, I genuinely, okay, let me think about the fucking, oh god, I made the fucking same type of box again. Okay, let's extend this then. There you go. Okay, there you go. That's a different box. But I need to work on my box designs, right? I know, again, I know it's just 3 axes, but there has to be a way to make these boxes look, and I'm grinding my brain right now, trying to like see all the diagonal cross sections, and that was a fuck up, right? Because it's converging too fast over here. There you go. It's still pretty shit, but now we just try to rotate this in as many places as we can, right? Try to rotate this in as many places as we can. Let's see. But what was I saying? Anyways, I don't know what I was saying, but I'm trying to think about the proportions. I'm trying to think about the diagonal cross section, right? I'm just gonna go back to explaining what I'm thinking, because that's the only thing I can do even semi-decently, right? Emphasis on the semi. Dude, my sense of humor is so shit, right? I really hope you all stick around, and especially if you're not here to see the evolution of my art, definitely be here to see the devolution, right, of my humor, right? Not only will it get worse, watch me become hysterical as time goes on, right? That should be my new channel quote. Hold up. That is, oh yeah, that we don't even see that. Okay, cool. So again, try to rotate that. Dude, that angle is basically the same. I need to choose a new angle. Let's see. I'm trying to think about, yeah, new angle. Let's do this. And let's make this a little bit larger. And I'm trying to think about, there you go. Let's do something like this, right? Let's cut it off the page, because I'm forcing myself to cut it off the page. And then let's extend it out this way. There you go. And again, like, I can barely see the I could even there I could barely see the diagonal. Dude, I can't fucking see anything. Like, actually, like, I'll be completely honest, I can't see shit. I literally cannot see jack shit, right? But that's why I'm going to continue, right? Because if I could see shit, then I'm not trying, and I'm not learning. But now that I know that I can't see anything, that is where I'm like, okay, like, shit's happening. Famo, shit's happening for real, right? And there you go. Damn, that was really difficult. And proportions are actually okay there, right? Proportions are actually definitely okay. But yeah, like, dude, trying to see the diagonal cross sections there was so difficult. And how much? It's already been an hour. Damn. Okay. Maybe I'll have to call it here. I'll do one more, because, like, obviously I drew these boxes quite large, right? So I'm just trying to think, right? Let's try to rotate this again, and something like this. Maybe a tiny one, right? Or no, maybe not a tiny one. Maybe just it's hidden behind, right? And shit. Okay, no, you know what? I think I ended up making the same angle without meaning to. So let me try to see if I can change this. Yeah, I can change this. Oh, I actually can. This is the power of fucking understanding perspective. Watch. Ta-da! And then bring this down here. And then we can do this. There you go. So now it's a bottom perspective, right? Or maybe we can even make it a, right? Maybe we can even make it let's see, we gotta make it larger too. But again, I'm still trying to see through the form. I apologize if I can't explain this properly, but I'm saying maybe we can even make it, because I'm trying to think about this diagonal, this diagonal, this diagonal, this one right here, this one in the back. But I'm trying to think about all that, but let's see, maybe this is actually in 1 point, because I feel as if I did make it in 1 point, because I made this a flat line, right? So probably just gonna make this a 1 point perspective, but that's pretty lame. So we'll do another one. we'll do another one, because like that was pretty fucking mid, right? And I'll take this, and then we'll do something like this. We'll rotate it this way, right? And let's see, we'll rotate it. What the fuck? We'll rotate it that way, and we'll extend it out like such. And I purposefully did that just so my brain would have to somehow figure out that, right? And actually, like, no, I fucked it up, because it should have been going this way instead, right? So that's a mistake, and I have to hold that in my mind. I have to see all the diagonal cross sections, even if they're incorrect, right? We still have to try to see what doesn't exist, and then try to put it all together. And this is coming here, and I try to see the diagonal cross section there. And see, that line was a mistake, but there you go. Okay, that was incredibly difficult. That was genuinely incredibly difficult. And now we have to speed run. And again, I was essentially an output regression, right? I couldn't hold any of the fucking items in my brain. I could not hold the diagonal cross sections. I could not zoom out. I could barely zoom out while applying the marks, right? Like, it just wasn't happening, right? But now we have to speed run our understanding of space. Dude, I still have to fucking do my drawing for the Broken Draw School community. That's actually what I was trying to say earlier before I was like, oh shit, I'm running out of time. But I'm very, very happy and proud of everybody there. I don't know, like, I guess my pride doesn't really mean anything, right? But I'm very proud of all the people who are posting there consistently, getting their repetitions in, getting their work in, feeling like it's a very supportive environment. It's genuinely very, very supportive environment. And that's what I like about it, is the fact that it's like, I feel like I know, like, school, you know, I know Alex Hormozy literally built it so people have a community, but like, it genuinely, and obviously that's obviously in part to Tyrion and his ability, and like what and the effort that he's put in towards making it a welcoming environment, right? Like, I wouldn't feel that way if it didn't have very kind people and a very kind creator behind it, right? So yeah, that's just like a complete aside, has nothing to do with anything, but I just want to say, like, I see people trying and doing their best there, and that's what I encourage. That's obviously always what I encourage, right? But I know, like, I say things in a specific way where it's like, yo, this guy's just fucking yelling at me, but that's the thing. Like, if it resonates, it resonates. If it doesn't, fuck off. I don't give a fuck. All right, okay. Like, I'm just like, at the end of the day, it changes nothing about my life, right? I continue to draw. I continue to get better. I continue to build excellent foundational skills. It matters not to me. It matters not to me, right? But obviously, I would love if people took it, like, enjoyed listening to what I said and actually saw the merit of what I was trying to say, right? Because at the end of the day, I want everyone to succeed. I genuinely want everybody to enjoy learning, and I want everyone to train themselves like an engineer, right? Like, you are engineering your neuroplasticity, right? I would love for everybody to have that ability to train themselves in that regard. Oh shit, I actually diverged this completely. No, the line's there. So this is, there you go. That was off. It's like right around here somewhere. I fucked that up, but it's okay, right? But yeah, but like, I genuinely think everybody's capable of learning, training themselves to and again, like, I can't think about any of the diagonal cross sections. I know they're there because I'm trying to figure out this connection right here with the invisible part of the box that's cut off, right? It's like behind the other box. But I don't know. That's all I have to say. I mean, I hope you're drawing along at the very least, right? If not, it's what it is. But it's like, my whole thing is really just, if I can do it, you can do it, right? And if you don't have a good reason as to why you can't do it, right? Like, a good reason, you know. Not stupid shit like, I don't have enough time, or I'm not talented, or I don't have the skill set, right? But a good reason. Because, like, if you actually want it, you will find time, right? You will try to figure out how to put in the effort, right? So I'm talking to those people, right? Because I'm not here to listen to your deflections, right? I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about your excuses, right? Like, I'm not judging you. If you don't give a fuck about getting good, then continue to not give a fuck about getting good. But if you give a fuck about getting good and you continue to make excuses for yourself, well, I'm still not gonna judge you, but I'm gonna think you're a fucking idiot, right? I'm gonna think that you're just wasting your own energy. Like, you're literally wasting your own energy, not believing in yourself, right? So if you don't have a good, that was a mistake, see? Because I keep trying to curve the line. But if you don't have a good reason to, in saying that like you're incapable, right? And if my channel does not prove, right, that you're capable, because again, go back to year 1 to 2 playlist. Like if you, that is not enough proof for you that you are capable, then I don't know what proof ever will be. Like, I genuinely don't know what proof ever will be to display literally objectively years and years and years and over time, decades and decades and decades of effort of a completely average individual purely min-maxing neuroplasticity and the fundamentals of the skill that he's learning, right? And not even with that much time, 1 hour a day, 5 days a week, right? That's pretty fucking reasonable to learn a skill, right? And obviously getting the biggest return on investment for the things that he learns in that time, right? Like, I don't know what will convince anybody if sheer documented evidence as well as a supportive voice, because despite whatever I say, I literally still support you, okay? I'm saying, why can't you do it? Why can't you do it? Fucking give me a good reason. Give me a good reason that isn't I'm retarded, because I am too, and I'm doing it. So you can't even give me that reason, right? So if you don't have a good reason, get your pen, get your paper, draw along, and then give me money, right? Shut the fuck up. So like, yeah, you can 100%. And again, even right now, I feel like I'm not thinking enough because my brain is fatigued. Like, even though I'm literally objectively fatigued from this session, from all the thinking I've been doing, right? From all the calculating, all the diagonal cross sections, everything I've been doing, even though I'm objectively mentally fatigued, I still feel like, damn. Like, even now, when I look at this, immediately my brain is just calculating internal x, internal y, internal z, y, and then x, and then immediately calculating the diagonal cross sections, right? Like, even though my brain is immediately doing that, it's not seeing it well, by the way, but even though it's immediately doing that, I'm just like, nah, bro, you're not trying hard enough, right? So it happens, and it will continue to happen, but it's just a feeling. Feelings have nothing over your actions, right? Like, it doesn't mean I can feel like shit. I didn't feel like drawing right now. I literally did not feel like drawing today. It was 12:30 p.m. It's probably it's probably like 1:45 now because it's been an hour and 11 minutes, right? But I started past midnight, you know. I was tired, I had gymmed, I had eaten, right? I did everything, like I was just not in a physical state or a mental state to want to put an effort, is what I had told myself. And yet that was a fucking lie, because look, here I am, still, even with all the difficulties that I'm experiencing right now, putting in my absolute best to put in effort. And once again, if I can do it, you can do it, right? You can make it, you can do it. You can do whatever the fuck you want to do. You want to give me money? You can do that too. I believe in you, right? You want to hear the same joke 20 times? You can 100% do that. I can literally fulfill that request right now, right? And again, like, I am always attaching dopamine to errors. Like, I am making constant mistakes, right? And I'm always attaching dopamine to errors. But as always, I say the same shit over and over. I'm going to leave that one in the back there because I'm too fucking lazy for that. Real, right? Probably hashtag Viggy real with you, right? But anyways, that was fun. That was a great session. That was genuinely a great session, right? I got to bitch, I got to rant, I got to fucking jerk myself off, right? And I got to encourage you. So it's honestly a win-win. So great session. Hope you fucking tried. Hope you did your best, right? And with that being said, as always, fuck you for watching. Keep drawing. And please, give me money.